Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, then welcome to the channel. Yo, it's 5 to 11 in the morning. I haven't eaten since 7 o'clock yesterday evening, which gives me 16 hours. I think I fasted for 16 hours. Great, no alcohol. We went to bed early, we've had a good night's sleep. I'm still feeling a bit, but it's usual. This is the third day into my healthier lifestyle. So I'm going to make something to eat in a minute, and then I'm going to answer a couple of questions that I've been given, which I think are going to be useful for you guys, hopefully. We'll see, won't we? As some of you know, we do have an electric drop down bed, and last night it didn't come down. I pushed the button and nothing happened. Very, very occasionally there's a wire which goes through this trunking here, and it's up there where the motor is, and it comes out. Hasn't done it for a long time, so I thought I had it. I thought I had it in there securely, but I think over time it just slowly works its way out. So, and the only way to get to it is to take this panel off, this panel off, this panel off, this panel off, and then you pull them down, and then you can wind it down by hand, and then I have to go in the cab, and I can get to the motor and put the lead back in, and oh, it's a right old rigmarole. But I've got 2 screws left over, look. I had to do it before we went to bed. And there's 2 screws, and I can't find where they go. I've looked all over it, and I'm like, where do they go? I don't know. I don't think anything bad's going to happen, but I'll have another look in a minute. Right, I'm laughing. I'm laughing because I'm using AI to like just make some tunes and stuff like that. And I've done it before on my other channel. I've made AI make some music, and I've just got it to do a theme tune for this channel. So if you stick to the end, or even you're not interested in any of this and you want to flick to the end, you can hear it. It's brilliant. I'm going to keep it. So I'm going to make some food and answer your questions. Question number 1, in no particular order, do you feel claustrophobic? Never. And I'm surprised actually, because I thought I would, but I can literally stay in this van and not leave all day, and I don't intend to today. I've got this curtain open over here, so I've got a bit of natural light, but all the other curtains are down, blinds are down, front curtains down. I can just stay in here all day, work on my laptop, watch YouTube, have a nap, make something to eat, and not go outside until tomorrow. And I will say that occasionally I get a little bit itchy, and I'm like, oh, I need to go for a walk or something. But most of the time, nah, this van is a good spacious van, and I love it. It's my home, it's our home. So no, I don't really ever get claustrophobic. What about security? Okay, this could be a whole video topic, but we do have quite a lot of security things in place. A lot of you may have noticed the little camera we have up here, which is a motion detector camera, which monitors the inside of the van. And I have 2 cameras on the outside, one at the front on the passenger side, pointing this way, one on the driver's side at the back, pointing down that way, and that covers both sides of the van as well. And if anybody was to walk around the van, you can see them. It's all controlled by an app. You can it sends when it detects humans it sends video footage to the cloud. So it's like, so if somebody came along and bopped the camera, you've already got that footage. You've already got footage of them, so you don't have to rely on an SD card. Although they do take an SD card as well. Works on an app. It's in 1080p. And you can even set an alarm. So if you saw someone by the van, you can push a button on your app and it'll sound an alarm off. And you can even talk to them as well. So you can like say, "Yo, get away from my van! What you doing?" That kind of thing. That's another great thing to alert people, to scare people away. Yeah, brilliant bit of kit. They're by a company called IMOU, something like that. We got them on offer at the time when we were doing the vans. B&Q was selling them really cheap. I think the inside one was like 30 quid, the outside ones were like 45 quid each. They run off the leisure battery as well. You can get solar ones, which might be better for you, but they're hardwired in. This one's off the USB, so it's 12 volt. The 2 outsider ones are 240 volt, and they're just plugged inside the van, which works off of the power, the inverter, or whatever you're powering your van with. And this van is always 24 hours constantly powered by either a power station or the leisure battery and an inverter. We also use steering lock, obviously, and we use a clutch lock as well. And we have trackers in the van, several of them hidden in the van as well. Apart from that, there's not much else. I was considering putting a kill switch, a hidden kill switch as well, to act like an immobilizer and that kind of thing. But this van is a very, very old van. They're not usually targeted to be stolen because they're not worth a lot on the resale and they're quite distinguishable. Not saying it wouldn't get stolen. And the other thing, obviously, is me. I'm in it most of the time. So, we very, very rarely leave the van. There's always someone here. So, that's obviously another deterrent as well. Obviously, there's more things you can put in place. There's extra locks you could put in, deadbolts and all that kind of thing. Bottom line is, they're all just lines of defence against an intrusion or a theft. But the more things you have, then the more of a deterrent it is, because the harder it is to get in and do things, and the more likely they are to be discovered. If somebody wants to steal it, if somebody wants to get in, they will. Simple as that. But I think the more you have, then the more likely they are to move on to the next. Also, for personal safety, make sure we have carbon monoxide alarm and a smoke detector as well, and it's checked regularly. Make sure it's working, because it's a small space and things can happen. They are telling me to put the fan on because I'm cooking. Where do you park off grid? Well, there's lots and lots and lots of options for this. Some of the places you're going to park aren't going to be all that glamorous, i.e. industrial estates, car parks if you're allowed to. There are several apps that you can download, like Park for Night, things like that. There's tons of them, which will give you places where you can go and park for free or to pay for. Smoke alarm. See what I mean? Got to have your alarms in. It's a good test they are working, isn't it? There's also stuff like pub stops and obviously campsites and things like that. Generally, also what we tend to do is when we're driving around, we keep your eye open, and you'll see, oh look, there's a few vans parked down there. Wonder if that's all right. Or even if there isn't any vans parked down there, you can see a road or a side road or something like that, and you're like, oh, that would be a good spot. Just make a note of it, even write it down. You'll find if you're staying in one kind of area that you'll tend to get your regular places where you go, where you know it's okay. We have a few. Obviously, when you go further afield, like when we went to Wales, it was a bit more like, oh, where are we going to park, you know. As long as you're considerate, you're not parking outside someone's living room window, you know, you're not going to get your awning out and all your chairs and do a barbecue at the side of the road, and you don't leave any mess, you should usually be okay. And don't stay too long as well. If you get a knock, for whatever reason, we've never had a knock, had a letter, but never had a knock, and Harley's had a threatening letter before, but it's very, 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 very rare, I would say, as long as you are considerate. Do you recommend pub stops? Not really, and I'll say that because unless you're going out for the evening and you're intending to go out for a meal and have a drink or whatever, then yeah, great idea. But generally, they're not that cost effective, because usually the rule is you can park in a car park with their permission as long as you go in and buy a meal or buy a drink. So it gets quite expensive. It's actually more expensive to do that than when going on a campsite a lot of the time. And there's no facilities, never any facilities. So yeah, I would say no, not recommended really. Where do you do your bathroom stuff? So I gather you mean like toilet, shower, washing yourself, that kind of thing, right? Well, for us it's easy because we have a fully kitted out motorhome, so we have a full-size shower and a toilet and a separate sink even in there as well. So we've got plenty of facilities to shower ourselves and go to the toilet and to clean our teeth, and even down to dyeing my beard and all that kind of thing. I can do it here. We have 100 litre of water storage, so we've got a 100 litre water tank, and we get that from Spotless Water. It costs a few pounds to fill it up each time. That will last us quite a long time, probably about 5 days, and that's being quite generous with showering and doing the washing up and all that kind of thing. And drinking water we buy in supermarkets, we buy bottled water, and we have a freshwater tap with a tank under there. We pour the water into that, or we just use it straight from the bottle. Emptying the toilet is a whole different situation. It does sometimes take a bit of planning, but you can go to campsites and pay pay them to use their facilities. It's usually a few quid. And obviously taking it to family members' houses and if you're staying on a campsite, all that kind of thing. There's lots and lots of different places. There is Elson points as well, and there's an app that you can download which will tell you where Elson points are, which are designed purely for chemical toilets. We don't use chemicals in our toilet. I will point that out as well, because people will be like, oh, you can't pour chemicals down the toilet. We don't use any chemicals. That's all I'm going to say about it. No further discussion on the toilet. And finally, for this video anyway, people say this to me all the time, bet you're freezing in there, ain't you? No. This is the temperature in the van at the moment. It's 20 degrees. The diesel heater, which we have in here, is on its lowest possible setting, and it's January. Temperature outside is pretty cold. I think it's around about 5 degrees. But it's been down to minus temperatures, and it is still, we can still get up to like 22, even 25 degrees in here. It gets baking, even to the point where even in the depths of winter, when it's absolutely freezing cold, we still don't put it on at night. We're quite warm enough in our duvet, and we just whack it on before we get up. So no, freezing no. I've been in houses and been colder, to be fair. This is always nice and warm with lots of nice hot water. Love it. So on that note, if you do have any other questions, I'm sure there's tons if you're just considering going into van life, or you've just started van life, or whatever. We're not like, you know, old veterans at it. We've been doing it for about 18 months now. Not looking back. I dread the thought of going into a house at the moment, to be honest. I absolutely love it here. It does come with its challenges, and it does come with its sacrifices, and it's probably not for everyone, to be honest. But my advice is, if you're thinking of doing it, just give it a try. Don't jump into it, particularly. We did, but we didn't really have much of a choice. But if you can just try it, go off grid and give it a go, you'll probably be surprised. Right, the moment you have all been waiting for, and this is Amazing Grace. Amazing Grace's new theme tune, which will probably be featured from now on in upcoming videos. If you liked the video, if it was helpful for you, then please do consider to like, comment, subscribe, and God bless you. See you in the next one. Peace.
We're living large in our van called Amazing Grace. The open road stretching out, yeah, we found our place. I'm a wife T-Bone by our side, she's my everything. Rolling through these mountains, hear the freedom sing. Every mile we travel feels like a brand new start. With the wheels are turning, it's a work of art. Sunset paints the sky where the wild things roam. In this little bed of ours, we have found a home. We'll ride these roads forever. Side by side we'll chase the sweetest moments whispered in our little space. With laughter and loving every turn we take. This van called Amazing Grace, no chance we'll break. Got the windows down, let the fresh air in. With a couple of tunes, let all adventures begin. Campfires and stories beneath the starry dome. In this life we chosen, we never feel alone. Every sunrise brings another chance to roam. With my heart on my sleeve and T-Bone is my home. Smile on her face as we drive into the night. In this van called Amazing Grace, everything's alright. We'll ride these roads forever. Side by side we'll chase the sweetest moments whispered in our little space. With laughter and loving every turn we take. This van called Amazing Grace, no chance we'll break. So here's to the journey, every twist and turn. With T-Bone beside me, there's so much to learn. Living life simple with the sun in the eyes. Cause van called Amazing Grace will take us to the sky. We'll ride these roads forever. Side by side we'll chase the sweetest moments whispered in our little space. With laughter and loving every turn we take. This van called Amazing Grace, no chance we'll break.